So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Welcome to my Galaxy S22 Ultra a few days later. Now, I want to talk to you about what I've experienced. I put my SIM card in here on the unboxing day, and I've been rocking it. First of all, the body and the build, it feels like I'm back home. I'm back with the Note. If you're a Note user, I've been one for a long time, ever since the Galaxy Note 2. I think that was my first Note, the Galaxy Note 2. So it just feels like if you went to a curved phone or something and you ditched a Note because they didn't bring it last year and you came back to this, you feel back home here. It's a sleek device here. They did get rid of the camera housing, which some people aren't a fan of, but I still think the cameras are a lot more flush than some other phones out there, and they look pretty clean. So definitely quite nice shiny cameras right there. They do have a little bit of a bump, so you definitely want to put some protection, some case, something like that. The phone itself just feels ultra premium though, with its aluminum rails, things of that nature. And it's just all business with the S Pen right here. It even has a black texture right there with the green on the top. Nice click mechanism. It just feels businessy, classy. If you're used to the Note, you'll definitely enjoy the S22 Ultra. So definitely loving this so far. I will say also that this phone right here definitely has one of the most, actually it's probably the most beautiful display. Now, a lot of people are concerned, does it actually hit those brightness levels that Samsung is talking about? And I wasn't really seeing them until I discovered in settings, go to display. If it's on adaptive brightness, it'll kind of tweak it to its own level. If you hit this extra brightness mode right here, boom, then you can take advantage of that full display. Now, they will warn you that it will drain battery, obviously, but man, once you turn on extra, I mean, you can't even see it right now. Once you turn on extra brightness, you are able to take advantage of that 1750 nit display, and this thing is ridiculous bright. Like it was searing my eyeballs. I had to turn it off immediately and go back to the regular brightness. It's that bright. So I think the best option is to just leave it in adaptive brightness and go ahead and just take it outside and see how bright it gets when you need it. Overall performance has been pretty good. Just those couple little micro stutters and stuff, it kind of reminded me of Samsung of old. I really want them to push an update out. This is the first official day of launch, and this is the Snapdragon 8 version. So this is not the Exynos version. If you're wondering, you've been seeing articles, oh, it's only affecting Exynos models. Nope, it's affecting this one too. So I'd like to see an update or two. And I'm not saying this is bad or anything. Like, this is kind of common with newer phones. We get a couple bugs. The Pixel 6 Pro had bugs. The iPhone 13 Pro Max had bugs. It's common. Get a couple updates out and we'll be good to go. So still loving the phone. I'm not going to say it's not recommended. It's definitely still recommended. And so definitely I really enjoy just the saturation levels, the overall color, like everything is just gorgeous on the panel. It's so much more vibrant than competing phone displays, and I think this is where Samsung really shines. They have the best display on a phone, period. Like, there's no phone that looks this good with the display, a slab style smartphone. It's ridiculously sharp too. One thing I noticed too when I was reading articles and stuff is just how sharp the text just looks on here. So if I go over here, just click an article, whatever, the text is incredibly sharp. And I know this is common across phones, but it looked tack sharp, especially when I went into settings over here and I went to display. I turned on the WQHD Plus at 1440p. And this is actually new for Note users because Note users can only use the 120 Hertz on the Full HD Plus and the Note 20 Ultra. So tack sharp with the smooth display. It's really fun. I do like that. A few days later, I've been enjoying the software as well. One UI 4 is very enjoyable, mostly because I really love the widgets setup. I mean, you have all these nice widgets and they've been redesigned. A lot of them look more consistent than ever before. And then we have Theme Store as well. So a lot of theming you could do on the phone. In addition to that, the S Pen suite is amazing to use. I've actually been using it to create to-do lists. So I'll just grab the S Pen, I'll hit to do and be like, yeah, go make a video, whatever. You know, I just write stuff on there and then I'll just do the things and I'll just go ahead and I'll post this note to the home screen, which allows me, I'll just open up a page like this. Let me press down, I'll go over and then I'll go ahead and place, you know, a note right here on the home screen right there so I can quickly view that note. So that's quite nice. And up here we have a lot of features going on, a lot of, you know, extra dim. I like that. The eye comfort shield, I like tweaking that. I've been enjoying the bedtime mode at nighttime, quick share between Galaxy Tab as well as this phone. pretty sweet. And then if you got a Windows computer, linking the Windows allows you to link the phone to the Windows computer, transfer stuff really easily, as well as see what you're doing on your phone right on your computer. So a lot of good features on here. It's so well advanced with the feature set. And if you go into settings, there's even more. Down here in advanced feature section, you could do so much more. Even with the S Pen, it's got its whole suite of S Pen features in here. So really love that. I also like the punch hole. It's less distracting than notches and stuff like that. So I've been enjoying the punch hole on here. And I thought I was enjoying the more flat style displays of the S20 series, but I kind of like this width on this phone. It's really nice and like tablet-y feeling. It's like a mini tablet in your hand. It's just very nice to read on this square design and write notes on a square design. And a few days later, I've also noticed that the S Pen is super accurate. The latency, it's just amazing on here. Like, it just feels so much smoother than S Pens of the past. So if you do like the S Pen a lot, you like drawing, you're gonna love this one. It's super smooth. Not that the other ones weren't super smooth, but it's even smoother now. The latency is pretty amazing. Performance has been really fast, but again, with the stutters, I gotta reserve judgment for this fully until they get a couple updates on this phone, but very fast. It's no real big issue. These things are just little hiccups. They're not nothing that would tell you not to get this phone. I would just say, if you're really concerned about this, just wait a couple weeks before you pre-order till they get the April or March updates out. So definitely wait a little bit if you're a little concerned about that. This is the preliminary stages, but still, you know, there's not always an excuse. I mean, they should have launched this better prepared, but at the same time, you know, it's still going to get fixed and it's going to be no problem. And this is a phone that is promised to be updated for several years to come. So we'll see how it performs. I'm a little bit nervous though, because the benchmarks are not quite as good as the competing Apple series devices. So I don't know how well this is going to perform in those 4 years down the line. That concerns me a little bit, considering the benchmarks are not super high. The storage not being expandable kind of annoyed me already, because with this Galaxy S22 Ultra, the other day I took some photos, which I'm going to show you in a little bit, but I didn't have the ability to take the SD card out, put it in my computer, and transfer the photos because there's no expandable storage. So I don't like this. Samsung, can you please put our expandable storage back in our top dog S22, our top dog phone? We like doing this. I think a lot of people would agree, and they also like to store their media files on the SD card. So I want to see this back. I mean, what's the problem? Apple put it back on their MacBook Pro 16. Why can't we put it back here? I want my expandable storage back. Now, I've already took this out and took some photos, so I will share those with you in a minute. But I gotta say, if you've had the Samsung camera experience for the past couple of years, this is nothing new here. They do have the director's view and stuff like that, but they've been bringing a lot of these features to the other phones. It's Samsung. It's super packed with features. It's got, you know, portrait, photo, video. You can move the camera shutter. You can do that stuff with your hand to capture a photo. The settings are pretty much everywhere. There's a ton of them. You can play with this thing all day with the camera. It's a pro setup, and if you want to know the actual results, I really like the 10x telephoto. When you are zooming, you don't get that digital grain blurry look with this 10x telephoto zoom lens. So I do like having that. Yeah, you get grainy at those 30x, 100x ranges, but just to be able to do that on a phone has been fun. So take a look at some of my samples with the S22 Ultra's camera and let me know your thoughts. These are just a few. I'll share way more with you when I get to the full review. A few days later with the battery life, I gotta say, I'm not super impressed. If 5,000 milliamp hour, it gets through the day, but I find myself kind of needing to charge it sometimes. If you get in the car, you charge it up real quick, it's fine. And one thing I will say is that 45-watt charging adapter definitely was very fast. I enjoyed charging this phone. It charges incredibly fast. I pop it on the charger, it's like 20 minutes, it'll be done. So it's a very fast charging experience. I'm just a little bit disappointed that with 5,000 milliamp, the Samsung phone's still not overly impressing me. The battery life from 100 to 90 still be dipping like really fast. I don't know why it still does this. Like, I take it off charge and from 100 to 90, ridiculous fast, is gone. I'm like, it doesn't slow down. The charge doesn't really start gradually going down until it gets in the 80s. So I don't like that. I wish they would get a little bit better optimization with that. And still, if you go to bed with a Samsung phone and you wake up, you know, in the morning, the standby time still drains. It's like the standby phantom drain. Like, it just kind of drains a few percentages. I went to bed yesterday with 73, woke up with 68. I mean, that's just not acceptable. I want to see 73, wake up with like 72, 71. To be fair, like, I want to see a little bit better with the standby. On the whole, I'm going to wrap it up here. I talked about pretty much everything I experienced so far. I don't need to go 100% in depth here. You know what this is by this point, but we talked display, battery, performance, we talked the build, the quality, things like that. So far, I'm actually just loving this phone. I mean, the Note is back here in the form of the S22 Ultra. Another year is what I feel like, another beast from Samsung. I would like a performance update, number one. I would also wish the software would be just a little bit smoother, which will come with an update, because the S21U Ultra was a little bit smoother than this out of the gate for sure. The Z Fold 3 was smoother than this out of the gate, just probably better optimized, ready to go. So I'm just waiting for that update, and I'll give more thoughts on performance later. But I just love this phone. Like, regardless of that, it's hard to overlook this beautiful, massive display, all the functionality. I was already doing multitasking, I was already doing split screen and stuff, and once you get a taste of those features, it's really hard to go back to phones that can't do that. And on top of that, you do have pretty polished software overall for the Samsung experience as One UI is getting better and better. So that's it for me a few days later with the Galaxy S22 Ultra. Let me know your thoughts. Do you have one? What are you feeling about it so far? Are you returning it? You keeping it? You buying it? Let us know down below in the comments. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. I got more comparison speed tests coming soon. Catch you on the next one. Peace.